And we're live. Welcome to Startup TNT Agri-Food Investment Summit 2024 finale, live from Regina. I'm Jesse, the Startup TNT Community Development Lead, and I am so pumped to be here tonight.
I'm William Johnson, Startup TNT's BC lead. Just flew in from Vancouver yesterday. So glad to be here.
Absolutely. It is going to be a jam-packed night, and we are the co-leads for this evening as we are running the Agri-Food Summit this year.
So it's Thursday night. We're in for a treat. This is the Agri-Food Finale Summit. We're also running two other concurrent summits, API's Life Sciences Summit and also our Clean Tech Summit. So for those of you who are watching online, if you're looking for clean tech or life sciences, you're in the wrong room. That's okay. You can jump into those rooms still. You should also stay, though, and watch with us because we're going to hear stories about some amazing innovations tonight for the Agri-Food Summit. Stay with us, learn about some amazing companies.
Absolutely. And tonight is all about agri-food. It's about increasing our food security. It's about creating more efficiency and productivity in our food supply chain. It's about making producers' lives easier, creating a better world through food security. That's the companies that we're going to be seeing tonight.
Yeah, and these companies, you can find these companies in the prairies. And also for the very first time, you can find these companies from BC, which obviously I'm really proud of. I'm so thrilled that two of the top 5 companies in the Agri-Food Summit are from Vancouver. And so they've flown out here, I'm out here, and we are at the Saskatchewan Science Center.
Absolutely. Thank you so much, the Saskatchewan Science Center, for having us here. But not only are we here in Regina, but we are also on treaty land territory here tonight.
As we convene for the Agri-Food Summit finale, we're reminded of the critical importance of food security and the role that the land plays in sustaining communities and ecosystems. It provides us with nourishment and sustenance, and we recognize our responsibility to steward it with care and respect.
It's important to acknowledge that we are gathered in Treaty 4 territory, the traditional lands of the Cree, Saulteaux, Dakota, Nakota, and Lakota peoples, as well as the homeland of the Métis people. We recognize and honor the deep connections that Indigenous peoples have with this land, which has sustained them for countless generations. In discussing food security and agriculture, it is essential to recognize the traditional knowledge that Indigenous peoples have used to keep the sustainability and cultivated and cared for these lands since time immemorial. We honor their wisdom and expertise in sustainable land management and acknowledge their contributions of Indigenous communities to the agricultural sector.
At Startup TNT, we are committed to fostering innovation and entrepreneurship in the agri-food industry while honoring Indigenous perspectives and promoting food sovereignty for all. We recognize that achieving food security requires collaboration, inclusivity, and a deep respect for the land and its original caretakers. And Jesse, your family have been stewards of this land for a few generations already.
Absolutely. My father here tonight has been farming the land up in Treaty 6 territory that his father farmed before him. And he's a proud member of the Treaty Land Sharing Network, and we have been using the modern techniques to ensure that the production of food can last for generations to come. And those methods and practices have evolved a lot over the years, and I'm really excited to see some of those technologies presented here tonight. So let's get into what we're going to be doing here tonight. Of course, we're going through introductions now, and then we're going to get into the pitches. We got 5 pitches tonight. Then the investors are going to go off and deliberate because we're making an investment decision live here on stage, and we'll explain how that all works in a minute. There's going to be a panel discussion at 7:30 after some networking time later in the evening. And of course, winners will be announced here tonight live on stage before we go to our after party at Bick's Tavern. So there's a lot going on tonight, but TNT has been operating for quite some time, and we've made a lot of impact. And this is the TNT effect here that you see on stage.
Jesse, when I look at this slide, I see a lot of logos, a lot of potential lives change. What does it all mean to you?
Well, it's about connections. These are founders that have come to our happy hours. TNT stands for Thursday Night Tradition. We meet every Thursday night. 252 weeks of TNT since May of 2019. And all these connections have come together. We've seen founders find each other at happy hours. We've seen investors help make connections with potential customers. We've seen investments happening, new angels becoming coming into the space. And what I love seeing here as well is a diversity of different types of startups. We see B2B SaaS, we see hardware, we see software, we see clean tech and life sciences, and of course we see lots of agri-food tech here already in our portfolio, and we're excited to add some more to the portfolio here tonight. So what excites you, Will, about seeing this?
Again, so many logos, so many stories. Actually, there's some agri-food companies. One's here and one's here tonight.
Yes,
that's really exciting.
Coming back again for the win after getting a deal last year, making some progress. That's what we love to see at TNT as well. We do have 30 winners that have won, but then we do all kinds of other deals. And if you get a side deal, you have the opportunity to come back again and try again for the win.
Ultimately, when I look at this, I see, this is what's possible when the community comes together to back amazing founders.
Absolutely. And we really cannot do that without our partners and sponsors. We've got our best friends forever, FCC, Natural Products Canada, Osler, Egg in Motion, our VC friend, Tallgrass Ventures, our lead organizing partner, Spring. And you'll notice I made a point of not starting with the core funding partners, and that's because I really want to hit home just how important they are. We really could not do what we do. Our sponsors give us a lot of support. They help us in the community, but without that core funding support from Innovation Saskatchewan and PrairieScan, this program could not have happened. And I'd love to bring on stage Kevin Chong to talk a little bit more about Innovation Saskatchewan.
Yeah. Awesome. Thank you so much for the warm welcome, Jesse. It's great to be back here.
Yeah, we're so happy to have you on stage. What do you think about being here in the Science Center tonight for the Agri-Food finale?
It's amazing. I haven't been back in the Science Center for quite a long time, so it's a great venue and a great crowd tonight. I'm excited.
Yeah, we got a lot of awesome people here in the room. Of course, we got people online and on home. We got people from across Western Canada and even from Eastern Canada. We got someone coming all the way in from London, Ontario. So they might not know what Innovation Saskatchewan is or what you do. So let's give them a quick rundown.
Yeah, sure. Sounds good. So Innovation Saskatchewan, some of you may know, we're part of the provincial government or the agency that's responsible for fostering innovation in the province. And we do that by providing funding, programs and support for not only researchers, but obviously for startups and the tech industry in general. We also manage the 2 research parks located in Saskatoon and Regina that provides office space, greenhouses, and just a great community for all kinds of innovative firms that are growing in our province. So
absolutely, you've some great support. In fact, one of our finalists tonight got Saskatchewan Advantage Innovation Fund money for their project at Nutrien, and we're also very thankful for the SDSI. And there was a big announcement with that program just recently, wasn't there?
Yeah. So on Monday, the government of Saskatchewan announced that the STSI program, or the Saskatchewan Technology Startup Incentive, as part of our investment attraction strategy, is going to be double from $3.5 million in tax credits per year to $7 million per year, which is a great
round of applause for that.
Startups.
Love hearing that as an angel investor. More money flowing in the ecosystem, more money to go there. Any final words for our pitchers tonight? Some words of encouragement?
No, I think, these finales have always been amazing, and I've no doubt that it's going to be just as amazing, if not more amazing this time around. So looking forward to all the final pitches, and just want to say good luck to all the founders. You've made it all the way to the end, and let's make some deals happen.
Absolutely. Let's get those deals going. Thank you, Kevin. We really could not do it without. Thank you, Innovation Saskatchewan. Round of applause for them. All right. We got a few more people to thank. Next slide. There we go.
In addition to all those partners, we really couldn't do with these amazing best friends, MNP, RBCX, Fasken, our close friends, BDC, AEC, the University of Calgary, our community supporters, Emily, Ag West Bio, Amy, Chess Club, Plug and Play Alberta, and the Summit organizing partners, Cultivator, powered by Connexus, Creative Destruction Lab, Rockies, and the 51. All these partners are backing us, which allows us to back founders and really make what we do possible, which is invest in some of the best companies in Canada, which brings the question, why do we invest? Why do we do all this?
Well, we invest in startups because These founders are heroes. They are trying to change the world. They are trying to solve massive problems that have incredible impact on not just our lives, but the lives of people all over the world. And they're trying to do it from right here in Western Canada. They're doing it from a market that's very underserved, that's difficult to build a company in, but they believe in it, and we need to support them. We need to support them with community. We need to support them with connections, and we need to support them with cash, real cash money going into their businesses. We need to invest. And so that's why we do that here at TNT. And Will, how does our investments work? Let's give a quick rundown for everybody.
One of the key things that makes the Startup TNT Summit unique is that we are having investors pre-commit that 5K at the very beginning. And they're making that initial bet because they believe that great companies exist in the communities where they operate, and they want to support those companies. So our investors are committing 5K. We're committing 50K to top that up to the winner. All right. These investors come together for 8 weeks. They do collaborative due diligence, and they're really finding the top companies in their communities. The winning investment is then selected at summits like tonight, which I can't wait to get into. And it's not just a winning investment. Like we talked about earlier, there are a lot of companies that investors say, you know what, maybe I voted for this company for first place, but I want to put some money in this other company. And that's how we end up with side deals.
Yeah, and not only are those side deals coming from our investors in this summit, but the clean tech and the lifestyle investors are also having the opportunity to invest. So we're hoping to see lots of money flowing into these companies tonight and over the week ahead as we close out the deals.
So let's look at the summit by the numbers. We have 100 local investors, not just in the Agri-Food stream, but across all of our summits. Tonight, we've taken 30 to 40 companies. We've whittled it down to 5 companies in the Agri-Food stream. This slide says 400 sector summit tickets sold. Last I checked with our marketing team, that number is more like 700, which is super exciting. We've got the event tonight, and we've got 6 after parties in every major Prairie City and Vancouver for the first time. All that adds up to one epic, I think.
Oh, super epic night. We're also here tonight with Cultivator doing their AgTech Accelerator program this week. Big shout out to them for collaborating on this week's events. We had an awesome time at their event last night at Hotel Sask, and they're here going to be joining us here tonight. So there's some other companies coming in. This is a real celebration of agri-food and technology here in Western Canada, in particular here in Regina.
Who are we hearing from tonight?
Well, we've got 5 amazing companies, 2 from Saskatchewan, 2 from BC, and 1 from Alberta. So quite the representation of Western Canada. And from a broad spectrum across the food supply chain, we got gene editing, price analytics, weed management for primary producers. We got a mushroom microprotein company, and we got computer vision and robots opening train cars. It is a very cool lineup. You're going to see all kinds of really interesting technologies, and it was not an easy decision to get down to these 5. So I can tell you that the caliber of these 5 companies is incredibly high, and you're going to get to experience that here tonight. And I'm very excited for you to join us in what we've been looking at for the last 8 weeks.
And then, of course, after the pitches, like we said, there's 6 after parties. If you are not at an after party, oh, I see what's going on here. If you're not at an after party, you can still donate to the after party at cheers@startuptnt.com. And we'll show that on the screen in a bit. You've talked about the pitches.
We got to do one more thing here, though, actually. There we go. Your role here tonight, right? We got lots of people in the community. We got some people who might be potential investors down the road. We got a lot of people from the industry, have different connections. As I said earlier, it takes a village to raise a startup. We got to bring the community together. We got to bring those connections. So please use that QR code to give some feedback to our companies as they go through tonight, help them continue to improve on their pitches. If you have a connection for them, you can write it in there. We'll share these with the companies after the fact so they can hopefully take leverage on that and move on and go to the moon. That's the goal, right?
The goal.
Yeah.
I think it's time to finally give the people what they came for.
Yes. Let the pitches begin. Let's get it going. That's why we're here. All right. So with that, let's bring up our first co-host of the evening, one of our best friends forever. We have Renee Benoit from FCC coming out on stage. It should be popping out behind me here. Nope. Renee, oh, there he is. Hey, we just need to grab him a mic. Whoop. Oh,
I got one here.
Okay, perfect. All right.
I didn't want to miss the start, so
Oh, well,
in the crowd.
What did you think?
That was good.
Yeah, you
I'm
excited?
excited, yeah.
Yeah, pumped up. Right. Well, this is your second like ag tech, agri-food tech summit here with TNT. FCC's been a big supporter of us. Why do you support programs like this with FCC?
Yeah, it's super exciting. We're really happy to be here. As everybody knows, FCC is a financially self-sustaining large, federal crown corporation that is 100% devoted to Canadian ag. 100,000 customers, 2,000 employees, 102 locations. But what really excites us is our venture capital program, which is a small part of the big company, but super impactful, as all of you guys know here today.
Absolutely. Actually, one of our VC friends recently closed a sizable investment from FCC, right?
We did see Marlies here. Yeah, it's awesome. Yeah, we're super excited. I mean, with our little venture capital program, not little, but little in the scheme of things, we support companies with capital through our venture capital funds, and also strategic partnerships with groups such as Startup TNT.
Yeah, we're really thankful for your work. And you've also, just a little side note, you actually acquired a company that my father worked on for many years, Settler Computer Technologies, now Ag Expert with FCC. You're running a startup that started in 1979. It's still functioning to this day, thanks to FCC.
Absolutely. with our mandate, I mean, we want to do more of that. Our focus is on really tapping into and helping grow the productivity and sustainability in the ag space. We've backed 18 different funds. We've got 600 million in committed capital across Canada, across the business cycles from early stage right to late stage, and that's really exciting to us. But also, like, a big part of the ecosystem is the incubators, the accelerators, and groups such as Startup TNT, who are really driving innovation and growth in the sector.
Thank you so much. Yeah, it takes these great partnerships to make it work. So without further ado, let's bring on our first presenter of the evening. Who do we got up next, Renee?
So our first presenter is Gavin Schneider from Maia Farms. Super interesting company. Did a little bit of research, and one of the media sources is claiming that they're turning mushrooms into meat. And so super exciting. Really excited to hear your story today.
Excellent. Awesome. All right, take it away. There you go.
Is it on? Yep. Okay, well, good evening, everybody, and thank you for your presence. My name is Gavin, and I'm proud to introduce you to Maia Farms, a pioneering BC-based company that is committed to transforming the global protein landscape in the 21st century. Maia is a B2B producer of a mycelium protein ingredient. It's an honor to be here in Regina as we establish Maia as Canada's next great agriculture company. We've developed a process to farm mushroom protein that will one day has a profound impact as the Haber-Bosch process had on global agriculture in the 20th century. Consider for a moment the dramatic impact that synthesizing ammonia to create fertilizers had, ultimately feeding billions. Today, we confront a new challenge. There are soon to be 10 billion people on the planet, each requiring 100 grams of protein every day to nourish their brains and bodies. The solution isn't more cows, chickens, or pigs, and the solution isn't plant protein either, which is underperforming in taste and texture. The solution, it turns out, has been beneath our feet the entire time. Mycelium, the root structure of mushrooms, represents a vast, untapped resource that has the potential to produce vast quantities of food. Our mycelium-based protein ingredients, which we call CanPro, contain 66 grams of protein for every 100 grams. It has higher protein density than red meat, is loaded with fiber, and contains 100% of your daily iron. We work with food manufacturers who are creating a diverse range of products, ranging from sausages to granola bars, using this extremely versatile ingredient. We created our product to simplify ingredient lists enhanced taste and texture that plant proteins couldn't achieve on their own. We're here to fundamentally change the entire protein landscape. You can buy this product today from a select group of customers. Ask me later. Our process uses the simple technique of biomass fermentation to create a nutrient-dense, complete protein. This method is efficient, scalable, and upcycles agricultural commodities. Our recent yields were 15 times higher than what other mycoprotein producers have been able to achieve. And it turns out that this process holds as much promises on Earth as it does on Mars, where our team is a finalist as part of the Deep Space Food Challenge, sponsored by the Canadian Space Agency. A farmer, an engineer, and a neuroscientist walked into a garage, and out came Maia Farms. We're three entrepreneurs who use our hands, heads, and hearts to build a better future, starting with the food we put on our plates. We're working with the best fermentation specialists across Canada to achieve our simple mission: nourish life. Now, it's one thing to stand in the stage and tell you that we can grow a lot of this stuff. It's another to stand on the stage and tell you that we can sell a lot of this stuff. By 2030, we're aiming to capture a significant share of the global 1.1 billion mycoprotein market. Maia has the potential to lead future growth, first in North America and later in the Indo-Pacific region. Through our sales strategy, we're going to be canvassing the market from coast to coast to grow at a compound annual growth rate of 10.4% per year. To make 1 calorie of CanPro, we use 1 calorie of input, compared to beef, which requires 27 calories of input. We emit 84% less CO2 emissions per unit of production than chicken. The fact is, we need more efficient ways to farm protein for a livable planet. Join us on this journey towards building a third pillar of protein that is ethical, ecological, and economical. By supporting Maia, you're investing in a repeatable business model that has a clear path to profitability. We partner with Canadian leaders in food innovation to create an ecosystem that's built on a foundational food ingredient. The process of farming mycelium will be as profound in the 21st century as the Haber-Bosch process was in the 20th. With the support of the people in this room, we can scale this technology first in Canada and later on a global stage. In summary, Maia is building more than a company. It's a commitment to find better ways to farm for the future. Together, we can nourish life while preserving the planet. Thank you.
And up next on Q&A, we have Tom Gorselitz, one of our investors.
Hello, everyone. Gavin, that was a great pitch. No, it was great to be here and be able to ask you some tough questions. Good. No, I'm not Kevin O'Leary. I wish I was, but no. But anyway, so your product, heard lots of great things about it. I haven't got to try it myself, but some of the other investors have, and they've really enjoyed it. But your product isn't why we're here today and what you're raising for, correct?
So yes, today we've currently launched a line of texturized protein ingredients, which we actually produce in Saskatoon. This is commercially available and being sold. This is a blended and extruded mushroom protein product. But what we're ultimately building is our liquid state fermentation process to produce a pure mycoprotein ingredient. So we're in the market today. We have great customer traction. People love it. But what we're building is something much further beyond this.
Yeah, you hear a lot about, the alternative protein sector. Like, I'm sure everyone here on their phone gets those Beyond Beef ads by NW, and wow, it tastes just like meat. But what do you think sets you guys apart, and how are you going to change things in the future to, achieve success?
Yeah. So the alternative meat landscape is a small target market for us. We're having great traction, and in fact, some of our customers are completely switching their soy and pea protein entirely to our product line. But this isn't where we stop. What we're doing is trying to capture the entire product or the entire protein industry. We're working in better for you snacking. We're working in children's. I have a small daughter and she eats all the squeeze tubes, so we've got some traction in there. It's not just about meat. It's fundamental protein that can have an impact, and ultimately we want to be the best producer of this ingredient at scale. And we're over the next year we're looking for a home where to scale this out.
Thanks, Gavin. Really appreciate it. Just a fun last question. So what are you looking forward to this year the most in Maia?
Delighting customers and winning people over when they taste the product. And unfortunately, I left it in Vancouver this morning. But what I really want people to see here is that the opportunity with this, with a mycelium-based protein ingredient is truly massive, and that what we have the opportunity here is to lead here. And I want people to see that, a group of fundamental farmers are able to lead in a new transition and build this third pillar of protein. So I just got to say we've got such good things happening right now, and very excited.
Yeah, it sounds like it. Thank you.
Okay, wonderful. Thank you, everybody. Appreciate your time. Will can talk about the product.
I have had the product and it's delicious. Thanks so much, Gavin. Thanks so much, Tom. Let's keep this rolling. Next up, I want to call on Zach Shear from Amy, one of our big partners. Everyone give Zach a round of applause. Zach will be calling up our next presenter, and he'll also be calling up, he'll be calling up, unfortunately, it's just Jesse to do the Q&A tonight. So Zach, for people who don't know Amy, give them the lowdown.
Yeah, so at Amy, we're the Alberta Machine Intelligence Institute. We help startups and larger businesses explore, build, and commercialize AI in their business. And one thing I want to note today, we've got our machine learning explorations April cohort coming up. So we're recruiting for that currently. Another note, we've got a big AI conference in the end of May 21st to 24th. Upperbound.ai is where you can find all the info there. We've got early bird registration on for 40% off. So we'd love to see you guys all there. My colleague Mitchell is also somewhere in the crowd. So if you guys want to, we'd love to kind of hear about what you guys are working on and how we can support you guys. It's enough about Amy, though. I'd like to introduce Tom Bohm from Rayhawk.
Wonderful. Welcome.
Hello, everyone. So I'd like to talk to you a little bit about Rayhawk Technologies. And I'll need a clicker to do so. So Rayhawk Technologies has developed, with the help of a great team, has developed a revolutionized way of opening and closing top-loading rail cars. For many years, the industry norm has been exactly as you see in these pictures, where you have people working at heights, walking car to car, or I should say perhaps jumping car to car, sometimes as the car is moving in a loop track system or a continuous loading system, while tied off to a fixed point of a fall arrest system. In the midst of all this, we've been challenged with our typical weather patterns that we see, which sometimes look like the other cars on the left here, where you have snow-covered cars, you have adverse conditions. We often don't load in the rain, but that doesn't mean we don't load in the wind, and it doesn't make the job any easier. In fact, over a 12-hour shift, if you count the latches and lids on a standard car or a standard unit train, you could be bending over, touching your toes as many as 1,500 times per shift. Now, I don't know about you, but on the first day, I may be able to do that, but I'm not sure if I could do that on the second day. So hats off to the guys that have been doing that day over day. The industry problems that exist is not only safety. We want to make sure everybody gets home safe at the end of every day to their family and to their friends. Working at heights and in adverse conditions is not ideal. And with the latest technology, we have found a way to solve that equation. Production is key. Every business out there needs to make money, and we need to be able to support the production, the efficiency. The business risks that are associated with everything that we do. If there's a fatality or an injury or a lost time situation or bad press. It all leads to investor confidence. It leads to unwanted press and media attention. And those are all very important factors. And last but not least, our skilled labor shortage. The facts and realities is that we have less people out there to do the valuable work that needs to get done every day. And by using autonomous and solutions and technology, we can solve problems to allow our human capital to be deployed to more meaningful tasks. This innovative solution, as you can tell in this picture, has nobody on top of the car. Nobody at all. Using vision technology and a lot of computer smarts, we can detect the rail car coming into the operating window, detect the orientation of latches, lids, hinges, and go about safely opening those rail cars without any human intervention. In fact, just to improve adoption and adaptation, we'll give operators the ability to press go and stop. That's also interlocked with the safety systems. But in reality, you don't need to be there. The system will detect when a rail car comes into the area where it's going to get the work done, and it'll know what to do. Now, it's not just one Rayhawk system. On any conventional track, you'll actually see two. One for opening and performing all the functions, and then as the car moves along into the center of the picture, it gets filled with whichever product. Then carrying on, it moves under the closing circuit. Now, it's not just as simple as opening and closing. Sometimes these cars come with security seals, and plastic or stainless steel cable seals that need to be applied, or more importantly, removed, just so we can fill the car. We can do those things. We can remove the seals, we can open the lids, we can do a cavity inspection, allow the car to be filled, then reapply the seal, take all that data, package it with the logistics information, and ship it with the fleet, given that end-to-end traceability. Here's a picture of our first installation in 2023. Very proud to say that Nutrien was an early adopter of this technology, and we've got one of these installed at one of the potash operation facilities here in Saskatchewan. So tip of the hat to them for have the foresight to see the advantages here. Now, this wasn't born overnight. Time flies, and when I look back, this idea started back in 2020, and like many great ideas, it started as a piece of paper and in a small scale. And over the last 3.5 years, we've ramped it up to a fully commercialized product, where we're just now going into between a seed and I'd say a Series A type classification in your minds. Okay. Our research indicates to us that the total available market out there is in the billions of dollars. And I know sometimes this information can be subjective, but agriculture is a very, very large part of our industry in Canada and US, and so is mining. And when we focus particularly on the granular base, there's a very deep pool here to go into. There's a lot of available opportunity. And if you really look at what we're doing and how we're improving safety and taking people out of harm's way and going to fully autonomous operations in some of these facilities, it's a wide open future. Our advantage is we're the first to market. We're the only available technology out there in the private sector that we have been able to identify, and we've looked long and far. I'm sure there'll be competition coming in the years to come, because the solutions that we were able to develop today, we were not able to develop years ago due to the advances in technology. Our focus has always been mechanically simple, computer complex. And that's important because these will be deployed everywhere. And we want to make sure that the users have the confidence and the ability to understand how it works and how to fix it in the event something happens. Like I said, there's a lot of computer smarts behind this, but it's very easy for most people to be able to understand what's happening there. We're also supported by a couple of great companies, Team Power Solutions and TPSX, that have assets and operations on both sides of the border and have the power automation controls background to help support the Rayhawk technology from installation, commissioning, and so on. Our capital raise and investment opportunities is significant and it's very unique. We're looking for a partnership out there that's going to help us take this company from where it is today and be able to adapt and adjust to the steep commercialization curve that we are forecasting ahead of us. It's a great opportunity here. We've been very modest with our revenue projections over the next few years. And I might add, there's been a lot of interest, a lot of phone calls from parallel companies in the industry that want to bolt onto our technology with their product offerings to service companies, and even down to the producers and some of the shipper receiving companies have been expressing interest. We're excited about it. Thank you very much. Enjoyed talking about this. Rayhawk is near and dear to my heart and to the hearts of my co-founders. And we're really excited where we can take this company over the next few years.
All right, great job, Tom. Thank you so much for coming out tonight. We got only time for a couple quick ones. AI is taking over people's jobs. How has the reactions been about, you're taking away these union rail jobs and putting it into a machine? What's the reaction been to that?
You know what, Jesse, that's a great question.
Yeah.
And early on, that was one of our concerns, is that would there be a pushback?
Yeah.
And what we've found is that nobody really likes doing this job. Nobody likes being on top of those rail cars. In fact, most people that are opening the rail cars are first in front and center to help us and give us ideas and say, well, what about this challenge? What about that challenge? Yeah. And it's been really refreshing.
That's great to hear. I know you're creating more safety and helping saving lives. And you were recently at a grain elevator conference down in the US, I hear, and tell us a little bit about how that went for you.
It was fantastic. At the end of February, we were at a conference called Jeeps Exchange. It's hosted in Kansas City. It's one of the largest grain and elevator producers shows in North America. And we had the opportunity to share this story at the Idea Exchange, kind of the kickoff for the convention. And you know what? I've never really known what it's like to feel that popular. But when we got back to the booth, there was already a lineup waiting for us. And it just was nonstop. In fact, we even had other people there exhibiting come back to us and introduce themselves, saying, we've had people come to our booths looking for you.
There you go.
It's very good.
All right, so you got to talk to Tom. Let's give it up one more time for Rayhawk and Tom. What a great presentation. And let's keep the party rolling. And who better to keep that party going than our friends at Chess Club Agency? And let's bring out Larry and Carl. Woo, how you doing tonight? Right. Let's get this midway through the pitches party going. Get the energy up. Yeah. Yeah, you guys just came in. You came in hot today, I hear. You got a big win to celebrate tonight.
Yes, we do. We got SAS crop insurance.
Woo! Very relevant for tonight. When you say you got them, and it probably refers to something with your business. And for those that don't know, they were here Chess Club. Sure. I actually have one of these, and people are like, "Oh, you're a part of the Chess Club?" I was like, "Yeah, totally. That's exactly what I do."
An honorary member for sure. Yeah. So we're a full service ad agency, market agency. We do a lot of campaign work. We do brand work, web, digital, all that stuff. A lot of our clients are government, and so that's where SAS Crop comes in. But we love big ideas. We love people that have ideas. We love people that are fixing problems, and we love the energy that is in this space, and we love being a part of it.
Yeah, and we love having you a part of it. Your third owner is actually an investor with TNT, has been very active. And you guys just made like an awesome set of videos for us. I don't know if you guys saw that up on LinkedIn and Instagram. Thank you, Chess Club, for putting those together. Yeah. Right. So let's get this going. Let's keep this party on the road. Larry, Carl, who is up next?
All right. This lady coming up is innovative, intelligent, and she is a freaking angel. So give it up for Melanie at BetterCart.
All right. Woo. Okay, that's wonderful. It's so good to be here tonight. Can everyone hear me pretty well? Okay, I'm going to talk really loudly so everybody can. My name is Melanie Morrison, and I'm the founder and CEO of BetterCart Analytics. And let me just grab this because that's important. We're an AI-driven data and intelligence company for a more resilient food supply chain. There are many stakeholders, as everyone in this room knows, within the food supply chain, and ensuring that these diverse stakeholder groups are protected and positioned to thrive is critical. At BetterCart Analytics, we're reducing inequalities among underserved food supplies chain stakeholders by democratizing their access to data, analytics, and intelligence, helping to create a stronger, more resilient food supply chain and greater food security. Here before us are two customer segments that we would be supporting. One is independent grocery retailers, and two are food and beverage processing companies and manufacturers. These companies often use, in this segment anyway, these groups often use traditional non-digitized methods to collect their data, analytics, and pricing intelligence. Namely, they'll head off to shop at competitors' stores. They'll take screenshots of competitors' products and circulate them through their teams for better intelligence, or they'll actually spend time looking them up manually, one product at a time. And these highly inefficient methods lead these groups to be data starved and create serious limitations for their businesses. So at BetterCart Analytics, we've come up with a solution, an AI-driven price analytics platform. Then we import, clean, and surface and format millions of unstructured price data points from online grocery retailers, all of the e-commerce data and other attributes. And then we leverage this data with natural language processing and image recognition or computer vision. And we do this with machine learning and AI to produce our ML AI-driven pricing intelligence models. We provide real-time and historical data analytics intelligence to those groups that have been underserved. And we do this for the first time using methods and means that are not reliant on physical data capture. So right now, we flow in terms of our data coverage from coast to coast to coast. We have over 6 billion products in our data lake. We import 38 million new product updates weekly. So shifting out that old pricing and layering in the new. We're across 4,000 stores, 32 retail chains, and have just secured our first US customer. Why is it so excellent, our solution here? Why is it fantastic? Well, right now you can see on the top of your screen, on the top left, you've got a single product here, and you can see in real time all of the competitors and how much that product is going for in the market on any given day, 24/7. To the left of this is a hyper-local look. To the right of you, you can see a pan-Canadian shot there that shows pricing strategies for these products across the country. So you can get that intelligence right away and see the pricing distributions. In the bottom left, you can see that that product, Bon Mama, is now compared against other similar products in the market, which is a real boon for those that are working with private labels and all of our new and emerging brands that have unique products. Finally, our real power lies in our historical data lake that we have growing over 3 years now. And that's super powerful because we can use this to engage in predictive modeling. So why is this important? Well, grocery is the least digitized of all retail segments on the planet. Pricing is the #1 driver of consumer purchasing behavior. Independent retailers are the fastest growing retail segment in grocery in the United States and Canada. And 70% of CPGs and food processing companies operate without any price analytics at all. So our US market stands between 5 billion in terms of specific price analytics, but that's growing. Why? Because so many haven't even had a chance to engage with price analytics yet. And so we're taking this to the approximately 85,000 independent retailers and CPG manufacturers in Canada and the United States, growing into the $13 billion market, grocery analytics, and expanding across different retail sectors at about an $80 billion market size. We're a B2B go-to-market strategy here. We're in market right now with a variety of features. There's approximately 3 to 4 there, and we're moving to dynamic repricing in 2024. We're almost ready to release that early and ahead of time. And then we're using our historical data to understand and predict future prices, within 3 30 days, 6 months, 12 months, etc. We're engaged in the food supply chain clearly as Agri-Food is our bedrock, but we also expect to expand into other industries and grow horizontally, as well as different vertical growth where we're already in. Are we disrupting the status quo? Yes, we are. We have a unique market segment and customer segment that we're going after. We're an affordable, therefore accessible solution to all of the stakeholders in the food supply chain. We're straightforward, it's configurable, curated perfectly, and we're offering that real-time, high-tech, hyper-local AI and cutting-edge technology. So far, we've built Canada's largest independent food pricing database, developed highly accurate ML AI-driven algorithms with all proprietary technologies built in, raised $650,000 in non-dilutive funding from the Canadian Food Innovation Network and Scale AI, strategic partnerships in CPG and retail. We've participated in key prestigious accelerators, onboarded 9 customers for 150,000 in revenue, excellent customer testimonials in 2023, and we're cracking 300,000 in ARR right now with 114 closed just in the last week. Our revenue projections will be up and over $1 million this time next year. Trust me, putting it out there. Our leadership team's phenomenal and fantastic. We've got a lot of skill set, and we've been accepted into a variety of prestigious accelerators, as you can see below. Our advisors are phenomenal. I'll just highlight here, Michael Niederhoff, not here tonight, but an expert in CPG and retail and providing us with that industry oversight, as well as business development, finance, and grocery. Fundraising, we're looking at a 550,000 pre-seed round. We have 305,000 committed. Happy to go up to 650, 700. We're going to acquire 12 new customers and get to that 1 million next year. Finally, we're the company that is deep-seated into the agri-food sector. We're supporting companies here across the food supply chain and then moving to very strategically to different industries as well. We're committed to creating a diverse food supply chain and greater food security. Thank you so much.
All right, give it up for Melanie. And up next for Q&A, we have Scott Horner, TNT investor.
Melanie.
Hello, good sir.
Awesome job.
Oh, thank you so much,
You
Scott.
threw so much information at us.
Okay.
But really, all I want to know is what grocery store do I go to? I take my grocery list in, and I want to know which store in the 10-minute drive from my house will give me the best deal on my grocery list.
Okay, that's a great question. We started consumer facing, consumer fronted. We pivoted to B2B, and we are the only price intelligence company that actually has a consumer facing platform ready to deploy instantly. We expect to be bringing value just the same as we are to the independent retailers and SMBs in the food supply chain, but also to consumers to help them at a time when grocery prices are skyrocketing. And we expect to be deploying that and bringing that value to the communities in our country and within the next 12 months. So we're ready to go on that front and bringing that value with our AI and ML.
That's awesome. That will save me so much time on my Saturday morning grocery shopping.
Absolutely.
Last question, big question, more serious question. You're focusing on food distribution right now, but what other sectors could this, your platform, the technology, the data scraping that you've developed, what could that be applied to?
That's a great question, Scott. Thanks for that. And we're really excited about our future, the landscape. It's very clear. The path is clear. We're already moving so efficiently in it. We are in our bedrock place with food supply chain and our stakeholders that we've talked, that I've mentioned to this evening. We're also, though, going to extend to pharmacies and drugstores where people need that assistance. That's a completely non-digitized realm. And so we're going to, as most of them are moving into providing more grocery and grocery products more generally, will be there. We're also looking at convenience stores. So as e-commerce deliveries going on, we'll be in convenience stores because that data is available. And then we're going to be pushing into restaurants, the supply chain there, supporting our smaller restaurants and chains, and then finally into pet food, because why not? Okay, that's great. And then other industries as well. So we are actually actually positioned in home hardware and building supplies. So we look at to support various companies there, Canadian based, and supporting them, and then into telecom as well, and all of our construction firms. So why not help them understand where they can get the best price on their goods as well?
Awesome. Thanks, Melanie. Good luck tonight.
Thank you so much, Scott. Appreciate it. Thank you, everyone.
Thanks, Melanie. Thanks so much. All right. Stop. I've hit this twice now. You guys have probably seen it. I can't hide it. You saw it. Next up, we've got David Gauthier from Natural Products Canada. And after David introduces our entrepreneur, we've got Chris Nicolation, our TNT investor, who will be doing the Q&A. But David, you're here now. We've been here the last couple of days, mixing and mingling with different entrepreneurs. What are you excited about in Agri-Food right now at Natural Products Canada?
Yeah, we're excited for the same companies we've been since we were. I want to make sure. Sorry, is it on? Are we good? There we are.
There we are.
Yeah, we're doing the same old thing we've been doing the last 8 years, focusing on innovations that provide a better world for people, animals, and planet. So we're continuing to deploy our non-repayable funding. And I guess the announcement that's most relevant to the folks here is the recent launch of Nadara Ventures, which was a new venture fund that we stood up alongside Farm Credit Canada. Renee, where are you? Thank you very much. Darren's over there. That closed on $20 million last fall, on its way to hopefully closing on a total of $50 million to provide equity investment for the same companies that Natural Products Canada supports through our advisory services, connections, and our non-dilutive financing.
Yeah. Again, obviously it goes beyond just the money and the financing. Well, what are some of the other ways Natural Products Canada is working with companies and organizations?
Yeah, it's really the knowledge of our team. I'll give a shout out to Darren Boulding there, our regional director for the Prairies. My CEO, Shelley King, pulled together a really diverse group of regional directors, people who have had years and years and decades of experience in the sector that really help identify the next best step for our entrepreneurs. So there's nothing like wisdom and knowledge and having made all kinds of mistakes in the past to bring to bear to our clients to hopefully help them have as much success as they can possibly have.
Yeah, that's fantastic. And what do we have coming up here?
Oh, we got AgGene. I met these guys about 18 months ago in Calgary. When I first met Logan and his colleagues, I was so excited because I was like immediately transported back 27 years to when I had just finished my graduate work and started work with a company that was part of that first wave of plant biotechnology. So back then we saw that modifying plants could really help us deal with climate change, could provide more food using less fertilizer, less pesticides. Back then we had tremendous headwinds against the technology, the regulatory system, trying to get financing away from life sciences. It was a real struggle, but those same needs are here today. We still need to have plants that can perform better, provide more nutritious food, using less pesticides, using less water, and dealing with climate change. So I'm really excited. There's people like Logan and his team who are using a new wave of technologies, new strategic partnerships to hopefully be able to generate these new generations of plants that we still need today that we did 27 years ago. So I'm here to introduce Dr. Logan Scory, the CEO of AgGene. Enjoy his presentation.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Logan Scory. I'm the CEO and co-founder of AgGene. At AgGene, we're developing genetic technologies to feed the world with high-protein, climate-resilient crops. I was very fortunate to spend the majority of my life growing up on a grain farm near Kinsella, Alberta. I was also very fortunate to find my passion for genetic engineering. It was during my time on the farm that I realized, hey, farmers need new traits. They need new traits to extract more value on their farm, and they need more traits to increase productivity. And this really influenced my decision to found AgGene. So we are an early stage biotech company, and we are focused on using molecular tools like CRISPR gene editing. And we are using this tool to develop trait technologies that target food nutrition, food security, and improve quality of food ingredients. Our main focus is on protein. So protein is a key pillar for food security. By the year 2050, the protein demand on this globe is expected to double. So when we think about population growth, the environmental impact of protein production and climate change, we need to start thinking about ways how we can sustainably increase protein production in an economical manner without compromising yield. At AgGene, we've developed trait technology that we can deliver into the plant to fortify the seed with more protein. Our specific focus is using CRISPR gene editing to make slight modifications to the DNA blueprint. And when we do this, seeds accumulate more protein. We are working on a number of crops, but the one that I'm most excited about is rice. Rice makes up about 20% of the global calories consumed, and high protein rice is a tool to help alleviate malnutrition in certain parts of the world. So our team has developed trait technology that we've deployed in rice, and we've been able to increase the seed protein content ranging from 35 to 55%. In addition to our advancements in rice, we're also deploying the trait in some Canadian-focused crops, including yellow pea and chickpea. And we also have a few other traits kind of at the early stages in our pipeline. In terms of our business model, we're largely focused on the development of novel IP. We can develop and maintain relationships with seed breeding companies and have licensing agreements. But I think we also have an opportunity to deploy our trait technologies and make novel seed varieties that can go to the end user. And in the short term, because this is a long-term game, there are a number of companies, small and medium plant breeding companies that don't have the ability or the technical expertise to do CRISPR gene editing. So we believe that we can partner with a lot of these companies and really give them access to new technology. We have assembled a world-class team. So I like to think of it, we're a team of farmers, scientists, and seed industry professionals. So we really take an idea from the farmer, conceptualize it, deliver it into plants, and get it into the field. As for our ask, we're currently raising a pre-seed round of $1 million. As of tomorrow, we'll have 680,000 closed. So we're really excited about this, and we're using these funds primarily for IP development, accelerating our product development, and field trials. Thank you.
And up for Q&A, we have Chris Nicolation, TNT investor out of Yorkton.
Great job, Logan. Tell us a little bit about your team. Why is AgGene the team to bring this tech to market?
Yeah, for sure. I think I previously touched on this. You know, we have 3 farmers on the team, probably about 30,000 acres in total. So, you know, we get a lot of good feedback, you know, what farmers want. Sarah and Rick have 70 years of experience in the seed industry. So a lot of great relationships, and, you know, they know what's actively going on. And certainly we have a world-class technical team. We can transform really difficult crops like peas, canola. And I think, you know, we kind of have the ability to take that whole chain in-house.
Okay, and how big is the concern around the public perception and the regulatory restrictions around GMO foods?
Yeah, certainly GMO, you know, unfortunately, there is a negative connotation. And it's unfortunate these tools were developed to do good for the world. And this is why we're largely focused on gene editing. So gene editing, in the final product, there's no foreign DNA, and these will be regulated as non-GMO seeds. So I think from a consumer perspective, this is very advantageous.
Great job. One more round of applause.
All right. Great job. Yeah, I'll take the clicker. Thank you. All right, we got our last pitch of the evening, and we have our friends coming all the way in from Calgary. They do have a local presence here, but Bill just had to come all the way in for this. So let's bring up MNP and Bill Chrysler, the national tax leader for food and bev, coming all the way in. Prestigious, right? The Agri-Food Summit finale. Yeah, just come a little closer. We got to make sure we're on camera here. So how you feeling here in Regina? You just spent the last day or so getting to know a lot of these folks. How's it been?
Yeah, it's been fantastic. Spent most of the day getting some good chats with some folks here and getting to know people, and lots of networking. And the finalists have been fantastic so far. So looking forward to the last one and moving forward.
Yeah, and tell us a little bit more maybe about your role and how that plays into the overall agri-food ecosystem here in Western Canada.
Yeah, absolutely. So I am part of our national food and beverage processing team for MNP. I'm our tax leader. And really the mandate is 2 things. It's really to kind of guide the team and the firm from a tax perspective for our clients.
And secondly is to grow the niche out across the prairies and really start to build it out. And specifically, agri-tech is a huge kind of interest of mine. So getting more into that space.
Absolutely. And we're going to get to hear a little bit more from Bill on the panel a bit later. So without further ado, who is up for our last pitch of the evening?
Yeah, guys, last pitch of the evening. I'd like to introduce Greg Stewart from Geco Engineering. Bring it out.
All right, let's go, Greg.
Good luck, my friend.
Here you go.
Hey, good evening. I'm Greg Stewart. I'm the last pitch of the night, right? All right. So I'm also CEO of Geco, and we do predictive control of weeds in farm fields. I got a background in math and data, making data products for different industries for about 20 years-ish now, probably more than I care to think about. And we brought together a team of technologists and biology experts to tackle this problem of weeds in farm fields. Okay, so weed control, it's fundamentally difficult to assess over large areas and multiple years. And no farm wants to use any more chemical than they have to in order to control the weeds in the field and protect their yields. So what we do is find issues early and nip them in the bud. Now, a typical farm of 10,000 acres can spend $500,000 a year on chemical herbicides. Now, that is an impressive number, but it's also sometimes underappreciated what kind of a trajectory that we're on for some of these things. So just looking at Canada, since 1990, there's been a 3.5 times increase in the cases of resistant weeds and a 3 times increase in herbicide sales over that same period. And there are similar trends globally around the world, because that's where globally happens. So if we take a look at this, weeds, and everybody will know that they tend to occur in patches in fields. So can we do something, take advantage of our understanding of that biology and take advantage and do something a bit more targeted and proactive about these things? So what do we do? So what Geco does, we pull imagery from the past 5 years, right? So all the way back to 2019, and then we make a map of what the weeds have been doing in the field for the last 5 years. And so you can see if it's getting better, if it's getting worse, where the patches are, and then you're able to make a prediction for where those weeds will emerge in this coming season. And then from there, what we're able to do is to make just a standard prescription and upload that into either the granular applicator or a sprayer, and are able to go out and just target the areas where the weeds are going to come in. And what this does, we can hit probably 90% of the weeds. I shouldn't say probably, we've quantified it, and typically saving around 50% of the chemicals in the field. So this makes a very significant difference to the weed control. This it's often applied with the more expensive soil applied herbicides in the fall and the spring, and this can create between $12 and $20 an acre in value. And what this means for our product is that you get farm gets a positive ROI on just their very first use of us. So there are no new equipment and there's no new practices in order to get started with us. You're really just buying a prescription and the knowledge about where these weeds will be. Now, in terms of how we go to market and how we bring these things out, it's really important to us to make sure that we have a very low friction adoption. And so this is one example where I talked to the farmer on a Wednesday. He said yes, turned the maps around overnight, and he said he's putting product in the ground here as of Saturday. And in fact, tweeting about it at the same time, right? So in the short term, we're going direct to the farms and the agronomists, the people doing frontline weed control. This is really important for us as we learn and we get through our first 100 fields, and we're making sure that what we're doing is really going to solve the problem and is going to, we've got the product market fit nailed, and people will really use this stuff in practice. Now, longer term, we're going channel to market. And we're doing pilot projects with members of each one of these categories. Oh, and I'm happy to say that for the first time, I'm allowed to say we just closed a deal with Richardson, who is a retailer in Western Canada responsible for several million acres. And thank you. And because of the economics of this and the low barrier to adoption, in our first year, we've reached 63 fields, and 39 farms. This slide's a day old, right? So, and I'm happy to say that 8 of these farms were onboarded since the start of the startup TNT evaluation process, right? And we're plan to reach our first 1,000 fields next year, as you can see by this map. Now, let's see if I can switch. We're approaching this $10 billion global market by starting with Canada, and we can reach our break even and our first 1 million ARR while still only touching less than 1% of the Canadian market. So there is actually a very large possibility here. Moving on from there with our commercial partnerships, we're moving into new regions, most likely the US, and we've got a partner who's interested in specifically in Brazil and Argentina. Our fundraise, we're raising our pre-seed round right now. We're looking for 350,000 in dilutive funds to get us through the next 24 months. This rounds out our revenue and our grant money. And what this gets you is our first 1,000 fields, 1 million ARR, and break even as a company. And we're making the scalable product a bit later this year. So that's everything. I'm happy to chat a little bit more with you, and hope you enjoy the rest of the evening and enjoy your drinks. Thank you.
Give it up for Geco, and up for Q&A we have Doyle Reed, TNT investor.
Hey, Greg. It was great to hear your pitch again.
Thanks.
We at the on this side of the equation have been evaluating this startup for 8 weeks now or so, and I took particular notice because when I realized what he was talking about, it's like I can identify with that problem he's trying to solve. On our farm and in our neighborhood, there's lots of kochia that weed that sneaks through and grows where we don't want it to be, and being able to predict it for next year would be a good result. And so I'd just like to ask you though, from an investing point of view, do you see yourself as you scale up becoming more of a B2B or a B2C kind of company?
Oh yeah, good question. I would say that as we scale up, most likely we will be mainly B2B, going through the channels, and a lot of the folks who are selling, say through the retail and they're selling chemical, they're very well aligned with what the product is doing as it pulls through an additional product for them as well. They've got boots on the ground. I would say that we'd always like to keep a certain amount of B2C in the mix because our interactions with the farmers that we're working on these days is really, really critical for basically knowing what to build, right? So I always want to keep at least a piece of that, right?
Oh, you bet. Okay. I'll be seeing you in person for a while then.
Yes.
Then, as you alluded to close to the end of your presentation, Canada has a lot of acres. Saskatchewan's the biggest single chunk of that, and we know there's lots of problem acres that you could be solving. But where do you see yourself going in other areas? I know you talked once about cotton. Yep. There's like 10 million acres of cotton in the U.S.
Yeah, in Canada, I would say that well over half of what we did so far is kochia and wild oat, right? These are the real villains that are out there. We've started to take a few speculative fields in the United States. And so the one thing, and you're absolutely right, one thing that plagues cotton is Palmer amaranth. And it's something that actually does exist from time to time in Canada, but it's absolutely everywhere in the US. So we're starting to take a look. We're looking at a field which has a rotation between and peanuts right now, right? So we're starting to get a better understanding about what these things are, and we're starting to understand what we can see with some of the pigweeds.
Okay. Well, I think it's a great success story in the works, and looking forward to seeing the full results after the end of the night. Okay. Very good, Greg.
Thank you very much. Good night.
Woo. Thank you. All right, let's give it up one more time for all 5 of our amazing pitchers. Woo, woo. What do you think? Well, this is your first finale night. How did it go for you so far?
I thought it was phenomenal. What an amazing group of entrepreneurs.
Absolutely. It's going to be an incredibly tough choice. So next up, investors, we're going to head up to a boardroom to the IMAX side of the building. We've got a panel starting in about 35 minutes with Rob O'Connor from Egg in Motion coming up to introduce, moderated by Laura Mock, the new director of Cultivator. So they'll be introducing our panelists. And what else is going on here for the next little bit? We can do some awesome networking.
I see some food still up on the table. The cash bar's back there. We're at the Saskatchewan Science Center. Everything's still available.
It's all open. Like you can go hang out, check out things. There's an ag exhibit behind us here, brand new. from
Adults
Richardson.
are allowed to have fun.
Yes. Like our motto is have fun, make friends, build companies. So we highly encourage you to have some fun over the next little bit, make some new friends so we can build up these great companies and enjoy your evening. So yeah, time for networking break. Panel coming up in a little bit. That'll be introduced. Enjoy the time. Investors, please quickly grab a drink and some food, and we will meet you at the door over there up into the IMAX area. Thank you very much.
See everyone
See
soon.
you in about an hour for the announcement.
Good evening, everybody. We're going to start the panel discussion here in just about 30 seconds, so please feel free to take a seat. So I'd just like to introduce myself. I'm Rob O'Connor. I'm the show director for Ag in Motion. Ag in Motion is an outdoor agriculture show that is located in Langham, Saskatchewan, which is about half an hour northwest of Saskatoon. Our show this year had 31,000 attendees at it over the 3 days in July, with 600 companies exhibiting at it. We're a 100-acre trade show, everything agriculture based for the prairie provinces in the northern U.S. And what we're going to do here today is we are going to have a panel discussion with some great experts. The topic is financing the future of agri-food, trends and opportunities. The first participant that I want to introduce is Marlise Hunter from Tallgrass Ventures. Marlise is the director of platform at Tallgrass Ventures, a Calgary-based agri-food tech venture firm, where she supports the growth of early-stage companies who are driving the transformation of the agri-food sector. Next, I'd like to introduce Nevin McDougall from RHA Ventures. Nevin is the managing partner of RHA Ventures Incorporated. Nevin is an accomplished business executive, entrepreneur, and private investor for 30 years of experience. Next, I'd like to welcome to the stage Bill Chrysler from MNP, the national tax leader for food and beverage. Bill, a member of MNP's tax services team in Calgary, is a trusted advisor known for building strong client relationships and offering tailored solutions. And last, I'd like to bring to the stage our moderator, Laura Mock from Cultivator, powered by Connexus. Laura brings over 20 years of diverse business experience, underpinned by a passion for innovative thinking, human-centered design, and business process management. There's your panel. And one last thing, I did also want to mention that for the 5 finalists today, we'll be asking them to come to Ag in Motion at a discounted rate, which is offered to them today.
Thank you so much. Thanks for being here tonight, everyone. Can you guys hear me okay? I feel like my voice doesn't carry quite as well. So we have a couple experts here to give us some wisdom around what's happening in the agri-food sector. So to kick things off, I have a couple questions for Marlise and Nevin. Really, Before we get started, can you tell me a little bit about your firm's focus in the agri-food sector, and if it goes beyond agri-food, and what sort of startups are your firms looking to invest in? Are you looking at early stage, end stage?
Yeah, sure. Can everyone hear me? I just will scream talk into this. I mean, you kind of answered it for me already. Tallgrass Ventures is an early stage agri-food tech investor. So we invest in everything that touches the ag and food supply chain. So that's everything from on the farm applications of artificial intelligence and IoT technologies, all the way down to new and innovative ways to be thinking about our food and ingredients. We invest pre-Series A, which means a lot of different things to a lot of different people right now raising capital. But ideally, we come in very early with the intention of really helping founders and companies build better businesses from the jump. So our average check is around 500K. Obviously, that varies depending on how early or late a company is. But ideally, we're looking at companies that our team can add a lot of value to. Everyone on our team at Tallgrass has a background in agriculture in some way, shape, or form. And so we really look to lean in to support these founders through some of the early stage challenges that they're kind of experiencing.
Awesome. Thanks, Marlise. How about you, Nevin?
Sure. Thank you, Laura. So RHA Ventures, we're essentially founders for founders. That's kind of our motto and how we live each and every day. Our firm is comprised of people like myself who've run businesses, founded businesses, exited businesses. So we've got a lot of experience that we can impart onto early stage founders in helping scale their companies, gaining access to networks, people that would add additional value to their company. So that's really kind of the value that we provide in addition to funding and capital for their operations. Like Marlise outlined, we also invest in a pretty broad range of agri-food, agri-tech companies, whether it be robotics, AI, SaaS type companies that are trying to bring technology into the agri-food sector. We do also invest into pure play tech companies as well, just based on the domain expertise a number of our partners have. We have deep expertise in software development, so that allows for a lot of leverage actually between those different sectors in terms of providing additional value into the agri-food sector and those companies that are trying to bring tech into that particular market. So that's a bit about our firm and how we operate.
Awesome. Thanks so much. Bill, question for you. So you're with MNP, and MNP supports multiple disciplines throughout multiple industries. Are you able to tell us a little bit more about how MNP focuses on agri-food sector and the role they play in supporting startups?
Yeah, happy to share that, guys. MNP, what we do there is what we call niching. And just to give you the kind of quick rundown on that is we have team members that work in a specific industry or space, and that's all they do. So I run our food and beverage niche. And where I think that really adds a lot of value to our clients and potential clients is, you're going to have an expert in that space, and they only deal with clients, and they're not a generalist, kind of dealing with a bunch of different industries and different businesses. So I think that really allows us to certainly service our clients better. I know for myself, what I like is that I can pick up the phone and I can call a partner in Ontario or Atlantic Canada or BC, and I can discuss, a success story with a client or something they've seen and share the same information. So that's definitely, I think, where MNP offers that better experience for the client.
Awesome. Thanks so much, Bill. We're going to go back to Nevin and Marlise, and I wanted to build on your answers that you gave me previously just regards to the sector. So a broader focus on ag tech. There's a lot of new trends and technologies that are making its way down the pipeline. Are there any technologies that you see as more appealing, any that you find are become more saturated that you want to sort of stay away from? Or what are some of those technology trends, and how do you see them impacting some of your future financing decisions?
I'll start.
Sure.
Okay. We kind of take it from a pretty broad perspective. If you look at agri-food, agri-tech, what we're trying to address are some pretty significant challenges and opportunities in really a global industry. Increasing population is going to demand that we produce more food. We have food security issues. We have agriculture being part of the climate change equation. So, there's a lot of big dynamics going on in the industry that agriculture can be there to address and support with good solutions. So, technologies that are improving efficiency in farm operations, making more efficient use of inputs, better productivity, helping to bring, addressing issues like labor. We've got a chronic issue around labor in a lot of different sectors around agriculture. So automation, robotics, those type of areas really can add a lot of value very quickly and address a lot of these issues that we're facing, not just here in Canada, but globally. If you look at really where we are from an economic standpoint, we've got a real productivity issue in our country. So we've got to bring new technologies that can really help advance our productivity and the ability for us to compete on a global level. So for me, I think that's why our firm is so excited about Agri-Food and Agri-Tech, is because the opportunities are endless. And there's a global opportunity for us to bring technology, not only for producers here in Saskatchewan or Alberta or Ontario, but across the globe. So that's my perspective on that.
Are there any technologies that your firm tends to shy away from? Or is it, again, as long as the opportunity's there and they're adding value?
Sure. I mean, ditto to everything he just said. You're making my life very easy, Nevin. Yeah, I mean, yes and no. I think it's a really interesting space. Obviously, I'm very biased. I think this is the most exciting industry to be looking at the adoption of innovation in, period, for all of the reasons, Nevin just mentioned. We're talking about a global industrial sector that truly hasn't taken advantage of the opportunity to adopt innovation across the supply chain. And there's a number of reasons for that, but therein lies the opportunity. So when I think about things that we don't necessarily look at, it is more based on our ability as a firm to add value. It's really core to our thesis to be able to say, this is an area we can give this founder an unfair advantage in. This is an area we think, either directly through our team, that we have a lot of connectivity, a lot of resourcing, a lot of perspective to add and to bring value in, or we're 1 degree of separation. I forget who said it today. 1 degree of separation away from someone who can provide that. So for us, we shy away from opportunities where we're 2 or 3 degrees away of separation from being able to truly add value. The other side of that is, I think, there have been a couple of, real iterations of ag tech adoption that have burned a lot of people, and we're iterating on that and growing on it. I think there is a real burden of proof from innovators now to show real return on investment to producers and to customers across the supply chain. There's no room, or not a lot of room, for single solution technology. It's this platform-based integrated approach. How can you take all of the data from various different sources and help make the different stakeholders across the supply chain make more informed decisions and increase their bottom lines? So I don't have a single answer. I think there's probably a lot of things that don't technically fit our thesis. We say we invest in everything from, inputs to technically restaurant robots, even though restaurant robots isn't probably an area we'd be able to add a lot of value. So I think it just depends.
Yeah, maybe just add a little more detail around the boundaries. That may be the best way to answer your question. So agri-food is a pretty darn big industry, 7-8% of our country's GDP. So it's massive. At the one end, you've got CPG, like consumer products in the grocery store. No, I can't help you there. So we're not really, we don't have the expertise or the capability to really help a company in that space. So, we won't go there. At the other end of it, you've got, technologies that take, 10, 15 years in development. I worked in the life science industries for a couple decades, and I know it takes millions and millions of dollars and 10, 12 years to develop, certain technologies, we're probably not going to be able to help you there, but just because the timeline's so big. But anything in the middle, that's pretty fair game. If it's a SaaS-based type of service into the agri-food sector, okay, great. I think we've got capability and domain expertise. We can help and make an impact. So hopefully that gives you kind of the goalposts of where we can or cannot play.
Absolutely. Thank you so much, Nevin. Bill, I want to sort of build on the same topic with you and looking at some of those emerging trends with technology. How do you see them shaping public policies around taxation and financing? And how can startups be positioned to capitalize on these opportunities within their financial strategies?
Yeah, I think we'll keep the tax stuff brief, guys. I'm sure most want to get to the bar here, but I think we've definitely seen a trend probably in the last 5 years of more, tax credits, tax incentives driven towards businesses. Nevin mentioned 100% innovation, productivity in this country. Unfortunately, we're lacking a little bit. What I'd like to see, hopefully, is more tax incentives and initiatives driven towards, specific industries. So we look at the food supply. That's not a Canada problem. That's a global problem. But offering those businesses in that space specific credits that they could benefit from, cash flow benefits, because they're solving a major problem, right? For sure. I think on the financing side, and I'll refer to my panelists on this, but the things that I've seen that I think are great, much more collaboration across the provinces. So I was at the Western Economic Forum about a month ago, and we're starting to see a lot more communication between different groups. I'm sure for a lot of startups here and folks, how frustrating that can be. There's a number of groups and entities that invest. So a lot more communication between those, which I think is going to allow startups and businesses easier access to funding, a lot less red tape, a lot less bureaucracy to kind of get involved in that. And the last piece I'm seeing, which I think is great, a lot more VC funds are definitely looking at equality of lending. So I had a great meeting about a week ago, and I think they're looking at the space saying that, whether it's females, minorities, Indigenous communities, that they really need to focus on investing in those businesses and giving them an opportunity. So that's great to see.
Wonderful. Thank you so much for that. I'm going to continue to pick on you here for a bit, just mixing things up. Again, looking at some of the changing policies and how all of those different factors come into play. We're in the presence of quite a few ag tech founders here tonight. So any guidance in terms of how some of this information can be utilized in terms of strengthening sort of their pitch, helping to best position their organization sort of financially to tell that story?
Yeah, what I'd say, guys, from my experience, being the accountant, but I think early on in the startup phase is you really need to dig in and understand your financials, have the proper systems and ability in place to do that. Unfortunately, what we find at M&P is we get clients that kind of come to us at that 12th hour where, they've got an investor, they need financing, and now we need to get everything in order. Obviously, that's a lot of stress, which doesn't help. And it can be quite costly, right? So like when you come to us at the end of the journey and then we have to rush to kind of get things together. So what I'd say is if you can get in early, get your financial system in place. Financial modeling is certainly key for a lot of businesses. So the ability to have that in place, the ability to change quickly, understand economic conditions, understand change and maybe what your business is doing. So I understand that can be really challenging for startups. Trust me, I see it all the time where that spend and that cash flow maybe doesn't make sense and the businesses don't want to do it. But I think you'll find as you get to that investor stage and that pitch stage, you'll be in a much better position, right? Reliable financials, accuracy. Again, I'm sure my panelists can speak to that. If you get an Excel income statement, it's probably not going to get people too excited. So it's really that investment up front.
Wonderful. So accounting, not everyone likes it. It's absolutely fundamental to putting your pitch together. Marlise and Nevin, I'm going to go back to picking on you here. From a VC perspective, how do you evaluate the long-term sustainability and impact of potential agri-food startups? And what metrics and indicators do you prioritize in your investment decisions? That's a big one.
Yeah, I can take a stab at unpacking that a little bit. I think because of the nature of the space that we're in, not every, but most opportunities are focused or touch sustainability or the conversation about sustainability in some way. And so, we look at it through the lens of social, economic, and environmental sustainability. What are some of these kind of big components and building blocks of building any company in today's day and age that focus on those kind of three key elements of sustainability? When we look at companies, I mean, there's a lot of different factors that go into what we look at. I think for us, first and foremost, it's, does it have an alignment with our team? We talked about this a little bit. Does it fit our thesis? You know, the reality of it is it's not everyone is going to, you know, not everyone has a company that we're going to be able to add value to. You know, we're biased towards Canadian companies. There's obviously a wealth of ag tech outside of Canada. So there's a real big component around, does this fit us as Tallgrass and what we're trying to achieve? Then there's the obvious, you know, is this the right team? Is this actually a problem? Is this a problem we're solving? And is this the team that's going to be able to solve for it? What does the market look like? And then all of these other kind of sustainability factors. Is it equitable? Right? Does it have a larger social impact? What is impact on environment? I think we'd be pretty hard pressed to look at an investment opportunity that had a net negative impact on environment and be like, yeah, that's a solid opportunity, right? Like this is a narrative that's pretty baked in now around sustainability. And we just happen to be in a sector where everything touches those kind of three key pillars of sustainability in some way, shape, or form. So we're not an impact fund, but the nature of most of our investments do have an impact on sustainability in some way.
Maybe just to add a little different dimension from our perspective, we obviously have a lot of investment criteria that we work through and a lot of boxes to tick, but you know, we'll start with the founder, actually. That's kind of our number one starting point. Is the founder coachable? Is it someone that we want to work with? Are they open to new ideas? Are they flexible? For our firm, it's the founder. That's probably the number one decision criteria of whether we're actually going to pursue an engagement or explore further the opportunity. And you know, it's not just one date. It's we want to get to know the founder over 3-4 months, understand their track record, where they've been, how they work with their team. If they have a team, sometimes the founder's a single person operation, and you know, we want to get to know that person because we're looking at a longer term relationship. So we want to know that we can work with this person, trust them, trust what they're saying, and believe in them. So for us, it's the founder. That's our criteria to start with.
Perfect. I'm going to go off script here quickly with a question that I just building on something you said, Nevin. You mentioned coachable. So looking for founders that are coachable, and we hear this all the time. At the same time, we're also hearing, and part of the advice that we give founders is stay focused, right? A lot of people will have opinions. So how do you sort of manage that? Someone has a vision, they're building a company, and can be open to coaching and feedback, right? I'm assuming there's a healthy sweet spot in the middle there, but how do you differentiate?
Yeah, it's a bit of I think a balancing act. It's great to work with a founder who's got great vision, passion, energy, and drive. And provided it's focused in a certain area with a bit of latitude here and there, there's always gray zones. I think we can work with them. I have run across founders where they have that passion. Their vision can be a little scattershot, to be quite honest, and they may chase shiny objects, in which case this might be tough. And you get to know people and you work with them over a few months, and you start to see these things. And so eventually it always pops up. Like the truth always comes out, and you know what the true colors of a founder are. And then you can decide, is this someone we want to work with and move forward with or not?
I think it's more about communication than coachability, right? We don't have the market cornered on good ideas. There's a lot that we know, and there's a lot of perspective and opinion that we can depart, but we might not always be right either. We might not be the right perspective for that founder at the right time. I think it's really about, can we have a constructive dialogue around what the opportunities and the challenges look like? Can you take constructive feedback and run with it? Can you, can you have bigger conversations about vision that might be contradictory to the idea that you had for your business? I really think it is about building relationships. To Nevin's point, these are long-term relationships, and communication, I think, is very key to any long-term relationship. There's a lot of wisdom that advisors and mentors and investors and community partners can impart on founders, but it's not always good wisdom. And so I also look to the founders to kind of sift through and have some really sound critical thinking skills to be able to say, this is the stuff I'm going to take, and I appreciate this, but I'm going to park it for now, right? And a founder being able to sift through that and being able to stand by certain decisions, but also be flexible, I think is the true testament of someone that we want to work with long term. I don't need someone to say, yes, you are absolutely right, I'm going to do that immediately. I want to have a constructive conversation about why that might be or might not be the best path forward.
Perfect. Wonderful. Thanks so much. So I know it's been a long night for everyone, so we're going to wrap things up pretty quickly. I'd like to sort of start with you, Bill, and if there's one last sort of piece of advice, words of wisdom, words of encouragement that you can offer to our founders, what would that be?
Yeah, I can definitely do that, guys. Like I said, I would say definitely getting a handle of your financials and an understanding in the beginning stages. It can make a huge difference as you grow. I work with tons of owners and clients that they're phenomenal people, they're intelligent people, they come up with great ideas, but I've seen businesses struggle and not be successful because of that piece. So it's really important. I'd also say understand where you're operating, and as you grow, really quickly, the tax landscape's changed dramatically over the last 5 years, much more complex with reporting, operating out of province, out of country. So just really have an understanding or ask the questions in those beginning stages to the right people.
Wonderful. So down to you, Nevin, and then Marlise, you can wrap things up there.
Yeah, maybe just parting comment. One principle that we talk a lot about with our founders is the notion of thoughtful fundraising. You can raise all kinds of money, but if there's not a plan associated with it, milestones, and a clear path to commercialization and scaling, we get pretty nervous. So we talk a lot about thoughtful fundraising. Don't raise too much. Raise what you need. Link it to clear milestones that link to your business plan and the progression of your company and your business. That goes a long way with us. So that's what we talk a lot about with our founders, and try and coach them along that path so that the investment, what they're raising, makes really good sense, and it's tied to a strategic plan that they've got for their business. So that would be one aspect I would share with the group tonight.
Sure. I'm going to be the second person to shout out Wilson Acton over the last couple of days, and I'm going to reference something that he always says, and we talk a lot with our founders about. We often say startups don't die of starvation, they die of overeating. They die because they get unfocused. And so it's really important to focus on core competencies. What do you do really well? What's the thing that is driving your customers to say, this is a product I absolutely need, and lean into that, stay focused on that. You can get pulled in a million different directions, and some of those directions might be great, but a lot of them in reality are distractions. And so being laser focused, being clear on your vision, being able to articulate what your value proposition is. Sure, you can solve a lot of problems for a lot of people, but that isn't going to drive immediate returns and immediate success. So find out what you do really well, stay laser focused on it, and then think about simultaneously what growth can look like long term, but how you execute against the thing you do really well today.
Wonderful. Well, thank you so much, Marlise, Nevin, and Bill. We appreciate you being with us tonight to share your insights and some wisdom. I realize I think I'm the only person standing between you guys and a big decision. I'm not sure who's taken over the microphone. Here comes Jesse. So thanks so much for being here tonight. I was asked to share one last announcement that there's a lot of beer left and it's free. So before you guys go, make sure you grab a beer.
Now we're standing between you guys and free beer, so we're gonna get off the stage.
I gotta watch that recording after to get all those great insights, but I'm sure that was fantastic. Give us like 5 quick minutes here. We gotta just like quickly reset the stage, change the camera up a little bit. So go grab that free beer and we'll come back here in 5 minutes. And we're gonna announce the winners and side deals. Yeah, we just need a quick minute. All right, 2-minute warning. 2-minute warning, everybody. We're about to come back and announce the winner. 2-minute warning. All right, come on back. We're about to announce the winner. 30-second warning, everyone. 30-second warning. Yeah, so the first slide is all right. All right. We're back. What a investors deliberation room. Come on, we gotta come a little closer that way.
What a deliberation.
Your first ever final deliberation room. What did you think of how that went?
I thought it was electric.
Absolutely electric. There were 5 incredible deals and around the table, and we have chosen a winner, and we have a couple of side deals to announce as well. But before we do that, one quick reminder about the TNT effect and what we've been doing over the past almost 4 years now. February 2020 was our first investment, so just over 4 years since we invested in Drug Bank back in 2020, and we've now raised over $12.9 million, and we're about to put that number hopefully closer to 14 million between the 3 summits tonight.
Yeah, and over this time, just thinking back to last year, we just put out an announcement. Startup TNT, the top pre-seed and seed investor in Western Canada.
Yes.
Woo! We're really excited about that.
Most active. Yeah,
Yeah,
very
most
exciting. And want to know, like, even though the companies tonight might not make it onto this logo wall, all the investors truly believe that they are investable deals. Unfortunately, they don't have deep enough pockets to necessarily put money in all of them. But we hope that we can get some more investment flowing into these great companies.
And I thought what was really special in that room, which I think I'm allowed to say, every company got a first place vote.
Absolutely,
Every
yes.
single company got a first place vote.
Yes.
So that's really exciting.
That is really exciting. So our investors truly did believe that all 5 companies deserved it. And just a quick reminder, it was an 8-week process, right? It wasn't just the pitch tonight that determined our winner. This education that was happening for both the entrepreneurs and the investors. We brought in all kinds of different partners into the mix. We had 100+ investors across the 3 sector summits looking at these deals. We had 5 finalists, but we had over 30 initial applicants when we first started. 700+ people across the prairies are watching our sector summit tonight. And of course, we got NBC. Yeah, sorry, I'm so used to just saying the prairies. Now I gotta say Western Canada. And we got the 6 after parties. I know they're getting going over in Vancouver already, and we're gonna be heading out to ours here soon. It's gonna be an epic night of celebration. And of course, we have to thank all these awesome people. Give it up for all these awesome partners and sponsors.
So we mentioned all these sponsors earlier, but there are also some extra people from the Startup TNT team, right?
Yes.
Our operations staff, Winnie, Jonah, Dariana. I think a lot of you guys know those folks. The AV folks.
Yeah, give it a round of applause. AV team.
Inland Audio Visual.
Legbo
right here.
Great stage manager. Yeah, all our Q&A facilitators tonight stepping up to do the Q&A.
Of course, the folks hosting us at the Saskatchewan Science Center.
Yes,
Thank
give
you
it
to
up for the
those.
Science Center. What do you think of this venue? It's pretty great, eh? Yeah, awesome. And
vendors in the back of the room, the people who were serving you.
Yes.
Very important.
Yeast Laboratories for the beer, the free beer. Great job. Thank you so much.
And then we also had a number of volunteers. I see a volunteer there. I see a volunteer there.
Yes.
Thank you to the volunteers helping getting you guys in here and helping us run this really, really smoothly. And then, of course,
the investors.
The investors.
We have to thank the investors. They put their money where their mouth is over 8 weeks ago, and we're like, we believe there are great agri-food startup deals in Western Canada. We're going to take a look at them, and we're going to put some money in before we even see who they are. Like, how incredible a stamp of approval is that of the deal flow here in Western Canada. And just quick reminder, also, big thank you, round of applause for these all 5 finalists. They did an incredible job tonight. And we're just so thankful that they put in us and trust in this process. They believe in investment from local angel investors. They want to see angel investors on their cap tables, and that's really exciting. Yeah, and anything else I'm missing? Oh, quick reminder as well. So there was a bunch of 5K checks committed. There's also our VC fund. So the winner is going to get the 50K for the VC fund plus the 5K checks. And then they're going to get 2 of our investors in the fund are going to work with that company to help them get to Series A. That's a big value add for our winner tonight. Yeah, that's it. Is there anything else I'm missing other than this?
They just want to know.
Yeah. Who wants drum roll, please?
How do we do it?
Let's say 3, 2, 1. Okay. So our winner for 2024 Sector Summit Agri-Food is
3, 2, 1.
BetterCart Analytics. Come on up! Woo!
Congratulations.
Oh my God.
All right, and then my speech, quick speech.
Oh, wow. Wow. Okay.
Wow.
Amazing, amazing, amazing. Thank you so much to all of the investors that have committed their time over the last 8 weeks. This has been phenomenal. And I'm just looking so forward to building with you and for your support and your trust. And I've loved every minute that I've been involved with Startup TNT. You know, the generosity and the community, it's been a beautiful thing to experience, and I stand behind it 100%, and I will take it to the bank, literally. Thank you so much.
Literally. Right, give it up for Melanie and BetterCart. One thing we noticed up in the deliberation room, it's really exciting. Melanie, I don't know if you picked up on this, was the only woman pitching tonight. And on top of that, there were actually no women in the Agri-Food Summit investor group. So once again, TNT is a bunch of men investing in women. So, you know, it's great. It's good to see. I also would like to announce a couple more deals that we know for sure are happening. All 4 companies we are working on getting a deal done. So for the 2 that I don't announce, like, don't lose faith. We're working on trying to get a deal done with you as well. But we just don't feel comfortable announcing it yet tonight because of the current commitments. But tonight I feel pleased to be able to announce that we are doing side deals in AgGene and Geco Engineering. Come on stage. Come on up.
Congratulations.
Ronan and Greg. Our 2 companies also in the Ag Tech Accelerator program with Cultivator powered by Connexus. It's really exciting. Come on up. W, glass. Glass for you.
He's like, I want the drink. I want the drink.
Yeah, I guess first of all, thank you to Jesse and the team at Startup TNT and all the investors that have been involved. It's been a great process. I'd also like to thank Marlise and the team and everybody for believing in the journey that we're about to embark on. And I guess most importantly, you know, my family and the team at AgGene as well, because it's going to take a lot of hard work, but you know, we got great people behind us.
Yeah, so thank you very much to the team at Startup TNT. I was invited to be a part of this, and it's just a fantastic experience. So, you know, the amount of coaching and work and, you know, gentle correction, let's say, that we got along the way was fantastic, right? It really just made the company a whole lot stronger as a result of that. So, you know, thank you so much. And Jesse will respond to an email when I'm not understanding what to do at midnight or 3 a.m., no problem, right? So just feel free to do that. So thank you so much to you and your team, right? It's been a fantastic ride.
Amazing.
Thank you. All right, cheers. Cheers to these great companies and all 5 finalists tonight. Thank you very much. We hope you all have a great night. If I could get the investors to come on stage and all the finalists, we're going to get some group photos. But yeah, the bar's open, I think, for a little bit longer. So quickly grab some drinks. And there's some free beer over there. And then we're going to be heading over to Vic's Tavern to keep the party going all night long. And yeah, thank you so much for coming out. We do this kind of once a year, big finale down in Regina, and it keeps getting bigger and better every time. And so just thank you to the community here. And I think there's a lot of people traveled in from out of town. It speaks a lot to what we're building here in Saskatchewan as an ag tech hub, and all the hard work from all the different people here to make that happen. So yeah, thank you to everyone and have a great evening.
Congratulations, everyone.